Hey, this is Boomy.
And this is Segan, and today's Hero Spotlight is a man who made a deal with the devil to become an instrument of hellish justice. First, going aflame in comics, then burning through films, blazing through television and animation, video games, and more.
That's right. We're talking about the cursed, the vengeful, the scorched, the flaming spirit of vengeance. Ghost Rider!
Nick Cage?
Nick Cage, Ghost Rider. Sorry. Ghost Rider is a melee hero with 17 health. Pretty meaty considering he's a skeleton on fire. I wonder what's stopping a sword from just snapping his femur. What's his ability like, Segan?
Well, Ghost Rider starts the game with 5 Hellfire. Now, when he maneuvers, he can use a Hellfire to make his movement 4 and deal 1 damage to any fighters that he moves through. Talk about leaving an impression, eh?
Yeah, hell yeah. Now, Ghost Rider needs no psychic along with him on his night rides because he has the power of the devil. Plus, he's a bit too hot-headed, if you know what I mean. Speaking of that, what's his movement like there, Segan?
Well, he's got a base movement of 2. He's gonna be nice and slow, got that biker stride going. But, when you infuse some Hellfire in him, he can turn into a menace. So let's talk about his deck a little bit. Now, Ghost Rider is going to have 30 cards total in his deck, like most. This is going to break down to 13 versatile cards, 8 attack cards, 5 defense cards, and 4 scheme cards.
Now, that Hellfire is quite nice to have, and with 5 of these bad boys, you're going to blaze by your enemies multiple times, laughing in their faces while they cry in the fires of justice!
Sorry, the fires of what?
Welcome back to Unmatched University. This is your professor, Boomy. Okay, now calm down now, as we're going to be looking at some tips for Ghost Rider. All right? The first lesson I'm going to teach you about Ghost Rider is your Hellfire management. Now, Ghost Rider starts the game off with 5 Hellfire tokens that can be exchanged for a multitude of effects. Now, you're going to want to make sure to have enough Hellfire to be able to utilize certain card effects, such like Pen and Stare, and also set up your low defenses like Stoke the Flames to refuel your supply. If you feel really desperate, then Chains of Hellfire can be there to aid in a pinch. Also, having a high amount, about 4 to 5 Hellfire on you, is great in combination with Control the Demon and Deal with the Devil, which can be your largest defense cards, going up to values of 5 or even up to 7. Now, the second lesson I have for you is something I like to call the Phantom Rider. That sounds like such a sexual thing.
Well,
I'm sorry. It sounds so sexual.
The way you're delivering it, yeah.
But I guess, but I just still think just saying it. Anyways, let me get into this. Okay. Now, the second lesson I have for you is about the Phantom Rider. This is about your movement. Now, movement is not limited to Ghost Rider due to his ability to move through opposing fighters for the use of 1 Hellfire. This is incredibly important when considering the fact that he can avoid pins very easily. But if he has no Hellfire, this will be difficult for him. Using his ability to move through opponents should be done very seldomly, and also strategically to move through opponents to deal damage. But also get Ghost Rider out of tricky situations. Keep your opponents on their toes and use your ability to your advantage. Now, for the third lesson is burnout. Okay, not the video game. We're talking about the lesson here about Ghost Rider. Because one thing to note is that Ghost Rider is a very aggro fighter that doesn't have a lot in his kit to allow him to last for a long time on the battlefield. His defenses are relatively low and rely on your Hellfire supply to increase their value, so try to avoid overusing your Hellfire. Blaze of Glory can potentially give you a win, even if it destroys you in the process. But it is only useful if your opponent has equal or less health than you. So make sure to dish out that damage, keep their health below your own, and then go in for that nice Blaze of Glory. So be good, don't sin, and avoid that flaming skull on the leather jacket. Class is dismissed. Welcome to the BS Awards, where every award matters.
They do not.
So let's not waste any more of your time, and welcome to the stage, Tegan!
Thank you, Boomy. I am here to present the award for Best Attack. And the winner is Spirit of Vengeance. This 5-value attack can provide you with my favorite thing in the game, card draw, to possibly give you more options to bestow that hellish justice. Boomy, what do you have for Best Defense?
Well, Tegan, for Best Defense, I have Deal with the Devil. This 2-value defense can go up to a monstrous 7 value if you want to use all that Hellfire, of course. Nice to have Daddy Mephisto in your back pocket. Now, how about that Best Versatile card, Tegan?
Well, Boomy, the winner for Best Versatile card is going to be Penance Stare. 3-value versatile card instantly increases based on the boost value of your opponent's card and can be doubled with just a touch of Hellfire to burn out your opponent's eyes. But what about Best Scheme, Boomy?
Oh, the best scheme. Now, the best scheme for this deck is Hell Rides With Me. Force movement on your opponent, gain movement to reposition, gaining Hellfire, and an action? So much for just one card, it just seems so unfair. Thank you folks for coming to the BS Awards. Go home, cool yourselves down, and don't stare into your loving friend's eyes, because you might kill him. Anyways, good night!
Okay, final analysis time, Boomy, and you know what that means. Means it's time for the question. You should have seen it coming.
Oh boy.
Is Ghost Rider competitive?
Yeah, he can be competitive. I would say his special ability is the one thing that people were so nervous about, especially with those heroes with 1 health sidekicks. He's going to be great in certain matchups like that. Of course, like Unmatched University, that sort of thing, he definitely has some weaknesses he needs to kind of be mindful of, especially with a few things with his Hellfire. But I think, yeah, he could be quite competitive.
Yeah, you know, Boomy, I have to agree with you, and I don't really think there's anything else I can add to that assessment you gave. So I'm just going to take a moment and actually give some props here to Restoration, because honestly, they killed it with this deck. Like the theming, the artwork, just the names of the cards, the effects of the cards themselves. I mean, the mini is it's just freaking amazing. Oh. They absolutely killed it with this deck. This deck feels like you're playing a Ghost Rider deck.
Besides all, of course, the flavor and stuff, which is great. What are some of the strengths that Ghost Rider has, Tegan?
You know, you get card draw, you're gaining actions, you're gaining movement. You know, all of this gives you options to deal with a variety of matchups that come your way. So that's his strengths. What about his weaknesses, Boomy?
Yeah, you know, for a skeleton that's on fire, there's the potential of burnout. Okay, eventually those bones are not going to be able to withstand that heat. And that's what happens with Ghost Rider. He can find himself in a tight pickle if they really overuse their Hellfire. You might find yourself burnt out with low defenses and with the inability to refuel your Hellfire. So just be prepared to meet the devil soon, okay? Because you might have gone a little too far. Ghost Rider doesn't have a lot of like printed values for defense above like a 3, which could be troubling against certain matchups that have powerful attacks. Just think about, those big boosted Excaliburs or that huge beast form from Dracula. It's going to be terrifying for Ghost Rider. And even with 17 health, it may not be enough for you to survive the onslaught of your enemies. So in conclusion, Ghost Rider is the cursed man who made the deal with the devil to bestow justice with their chains of hellfire. In Unmatched, he's a flaming, speedy melee combatant with the ability to reduce all their opponents to ash, including themselves.